Hello, and happy Friday, y'all. How's everybody doing out there? You guys good? Oh my gosh. Well, I am doing very, very well. I am very, very excited about this beautiful guest that I have coming on, y'all. I met this woman on LinkedIn. Oh my gosh. You know, when you have those social media connections, you just gotta go all the way. You gotta go all the way. So I am very happy. She's a wellness coach, and she's just got so much information to drop for y'all. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my guest, Coach Jeanna.
Hello.
How are you, gorgeous?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. I've been anticipating this interview. You are so cool.
I am so glad. You are cool too, honey. I am just so glad that we get a chance to have this moment, because a lot of times when you're out there and you're meeting people on Instagram, all the social media platforms, Facebook, whatsoever, sometimes, you meet these people and that you're supposed to stay in contact with them. And I felt that with you because you actually reached out to me. And I said, no, this is someone special, because people just don't do that just for natural conversation. And you actually reached out. You wanted to know a little bit more about me. And I thought that was beautiful. And I wanted to tell you that really meant a lot to me, because we could use more of that in the world, honey. More of that in the world. Yes. So, how's your day going?
Oh my God, it's been a great Friday. I mean, it's been awesome. You know me, I'm always like doing something. So like grinding it in. I got my run in this morning. So yay, it's been good.
Good for you. Well, without further ado, I would just love for you to tell the people a little bit about you. Can you just tell us a little bit about who are you, where you come from, all that good stuff, any juicy stuff you want people to know?
Yes, thank you. So I live here in Los Angeles, and I'm a wellness coach. So it is a lifestyle that I have. It is a lifestyle. So when I work out, when I run, I love to rollerblade, at the beach, because there's a specific at the beach. I need some water, some waves, some something. I love to travel. I love family and community and team building. And most importantly, just we want to just have a healthy, good life and be well. Be well.
Mm,
So
mm.
that's just a little something about. I'm a creator. I am a true creator, like for real, for real. Like
Nice,
abstract
nice.
art on canvas and just creating.
Oh, tell me a little bit about that because for some reason, I did not know all of that until I actually looked at your Instagram page and I saw that you have an art page. So you do your own art. Tell us a little bit about that, girl.
Oh, okay, okay. She let the cat out of the bag.
Now, a lot of people didn't know that.
No,
Is
I
this
mean,
the other
it
side?
just depends on where you know me or met me from. So yeah, it's all good. It's just who I am. So what I do. So yes,
Wow.
I started painting in 2015. I had my very first art exhibit. I had 100 pieces at my art show. First time ever doing an art show. There's a whole terminology in the art world. I knew nothing. I just did it, just jump on in. And it started because I just started painting. And then one of my friends said, you need to start showing this off. And I'm like, why or where and like how? And, right. So I did. And now I have an art page and a website and art.
Wow.
It's, it's a
Good
joy.
for
I love it.
you.
I love it. It's
Wow.
a joy.
When you started talking about it, your eyes just lit up. That smile just got brighter. So it's obviously
'Cause
it's
I
a
paint.
passion.
They're like my little babies in a way. Like you paint these
Oh,
creations and they're so endearing to you, and I love when I can share them with someone and they love and they want, like giving them up for adoption into a new, like, is this going to be a good family that's going to take care of you?
oh, I love it. I love it. I don't have that skill. I'm not good at painting. I'm not good at drawing. So I always admire people who are really good at it. Yeah, I saw some of your pieces. They're really beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Very
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank
So,
you.
girl, I want to jump on into these questions. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's
Okay,
do
cool.
it.
So, like thinking of wellness, that's a big topic. And I've had a few people on that talked a little bit about soul care and self care. You being a wellness coach, I just wanted to ask you, why is wellness so important to you? Like, why did you decide you wanted to be a wellness coach?
That's a great question. Way back 100 years ago. No, I'm a comedian too. No, just kidding. uh, when I was young, at like fifth grade, I remember wanting to run. We didn't have a
Mm,
track team in fifth grade. So when I got to high school, I finally could get on a track team, and I just always have had this thing in me. My dad was a true jock guy, and I was his jock daughter, and I would be in, the athletics. I was in a lot of sports. And so throughout the years, it evolved into more of a passion and more of a
mm,
necessity versus just, oh, you just work out. Like it really is a lifestyle. And the reason is the way it makes me feel when I do, and when I don't, I feel it. And
mm,
not everyone has that, I realize, but I wish everyone did, or lots of people did, because I just get that, just like that rush of like I can do more. I have more strength,
mm.
I can just feel better. So
Wow. That we have something in common. I ran track too.
did you? Hey.
Yes, yes. But I wasn't wanting to do it in the fifth grade. I love like you started early. You started most kids in middle school are not trying to think about unless of course their parents put them in sports. But
Right.
like I do know that I grew up, we didn't really have those sports in fifth grade either. I'm from
Yeah.
Texas. So but nowadays there's so many teams like outside organizations that have that for the youth right now where they can do that. They can run track, they can play all those sports.
Exactly. They can
I
do it now. They can do it now, and I feel for the parents, right? Because then now it's extra stuff you got to drive them to, and extra
yeah,
packing.
that's true. That
But
is true.
but
That is true.
it's good. They're not when it's a more of a community based type of athletic program or something like that,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
where your child is introduced to other kids from other schools. I think that's a huge benefit. I was able to benefit from doing those kinds of programs like in the summertime, I remember.
That's
So
cool. I like that. I like that. You mentioned that wellness is like a passion. You're passionate about it.
it is.
You know, I can tell. I felt that when you said that. And you also mentioned something which I want to talk a little bit about. You mentioned the word workout.
Mhm.
And people, like we're talking about exercising and doing running track. People go to the gym all the time, right? They go all the time, and most people are going to, either tone up or lose some weight. They're working out. That's
Mhm.
their goal. Um, what are your thoughts about wellness being like a workout? Can you
Yes, yes,
talk a
yes.
little bit about that? Like, do you have any thoughts on that? Like, if you had to kind of like define wellness workout, what would you say it
Wellness,
was?
yeah, wellness as a workout to me is more like a mindset.
Mm,
So I feel like we need to train our minds to not think of it so much as a thing I have to do. Oh, one more thing. I just got to check off the list. I got to go to the gym, which is true. You do need to check it off your list. But if you have this excitement of what you can anticipate after you're done, see, for me, that's the end result piece. Like, yeah, you don't always want to go to the gym. No, that's not realistic. But how do you feel once you're done working out? Like, for me, that's just like the whole shebang. So I want to go. So that motivates me to want to go. Um, the other piece, though, on wellness I wanted to make a quick comment is my dad says this quote all the time, honey, without your health, you're nothing. Right? He still does say that. Honey, so wellness and health to me is that essential. Like and it took me a long time to understand what he was saying when he was kept saying, honey, without your health, you're nothing. I'm like, we need money, we need food, we need, you know what I mean? So it's like all these other things, like, oh, but if you're not healthy, especially this pandemic has really brought to the forefront, like if you don't have good health, your wellness is not good. You really have what? What do we have? Not a whole lot, because you can't go to work, you can't do anything, you can't help your kids, can't, you're paralyzed. So wellness is like that mindset for me. It's like, okay, what can we do? Because everyone, trust me, everyone can do something. And so I believe that there's room. If you don't like to run and rollerblade like I do, I don't care. You can do whatever it is that makes you happy, that'll get you to feeling good. I don't even care if you're not wanting to lose the weight. It's
yeah.
not about the weight loss, it's about how it makes you feel.
Mm, that's good stuff, girl.
We don't talk
Because
about this in school because everyone's
yeah.
always shaming and body shaming, and you're
Mm-hmm.
chubby this, and you're not this, and you're too thin. Hello. Because then you can be on the too thin side too. So, like, someone always has something to say about
Mm-hmm.
some sort of weight stuff. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like you have to like train your mind and say, okay, what is going to work for me?
Mm.
Get in that category and own
Ooh.
that and own it. Like, y'all go on to the gym. I'm gonna be over here doing my little path on doing my hike, you know, going, fine. That's good. That's a win because you're happy doing that.
Mm. That is all really, really good, Gina. I love that you just the first thing you hit was mindset. Mindset is so key to wellness, and you dug that in there, girl. And I love it because we every type of health and wellness, self-care, things that we do for ourselves is going to be different for each person, and it's going to show up differently for each person. But everybody has that same thing that they're going to need to do, which is really work on their mindset about it. And
Exactly.
so I think that's golden what you share, because it's so true. I know for me, when my mindset is off about taking care of my health, or like if I have a lazy mindset, like I don't feel like doing nothing today, you need to get up, and you need to stay committed to what you said to yourself, right? So if I
Mhm.
said I'm gonna meditate 3 times a week, that is gonna have to be what I'm gonna have to do. And it starts with my mindset. Just remember, you committed to yourself, Chantel. You
Right.
committed to yourself. So I really, really appreciate that you sharing that. Now, what are some, like, if you could give us some tips, like I know you talked a little bit about the mindset and everything, but if you could give us, like, if you had like 3 tips you could share with us that would help us to do our own wellness workout, like what would you offer people to say, hey, I think this would be good? Because you mentioned, like, there's so much body shaming, there's so much, you got to look this way for this group. You're too fat, you're too thin, skinny, you're too thin. I mean, it's just too much of the two-ness. You're too
Yes,
this,
it's
you're too
ridiculous. Don't don't buy into none of that. Like,
that.
don't buy into that. I'm
it's
like,
it's crazy.
um,
It's crazy. But what 3 healthy tips could you recommend?
one of the things that always motivates me is the funness.
Have
So if
fun.
it's not really fun, I don't really like, what are we doing? Like, I need some fun. So
Mm.
it needs to be something you enjoy. So let's do that. Let's write a list. What can you do? Let's do that. Not what you can't do. Your knees may be aching, your ankles might be aching. Let's talk about what you can do. So let's do that.
Mm.
Um, let's go with one of the things that is unconventional, but I think should be incorporated is deep breathing. Honestly,
Mm.
deep breathing. You need to spend 3 to 5 minutes twice a day in that area because it calms your mind down. We're racing. We have all the stuff
Mm.
to do. We had it overwhelms our internal nervous system. It's going like, you need to check it, calm it down, and we can control this ourselves. But if we're always on autopilot all the time, doing, then we cannot rest, and it causes health effects as we get older.
Mm.
And people don't talk about it, and people don't even realize it. And after you've been doing it for 20, 25 years, then all of a sudden you got a situation with your health. It's like, stop it.
Yeah.
So I would recommend find something that you like to do that's fun, deep breathing, and then the third thing is actually do it.
Ooh, that's a good tip, honey. Just do
Do it.
it.
Do it. Because we'll sit there.
Fun. I love
We'll
it. Go
sit
ahead. Go
there
ahead.
and
What you
and
just
put
say?
it on there and then not do it because you're looking at it on the list. I know who you are. I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you. Got it written down. You might even went shopping and got the cute little outfit. Everything ready to go, but you're still on the couch. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so let's go ahead and
Follow through. Follow through. I love it. You said have fun,
mhm,
deep breathe, and do it.
and do it.
That follow through is so important. I have a friend, she does a lot of mindfulness and breathing. So that breathing stuff, I'm with you. And you know what? It's very precious. I want to share with you, like, I had an incident where I got sick just recently, and I could not, it was hard for me to inhale deep.
Mm,
It was very hard for me to inhale deep, like take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So when you talk about that third one for me is power, and it resonates because I remember just a few weeks ago I couldn't deep breathe.
wow.
So to take this opportunity, like it's just a confirmation from God what you just shared. Like, deep breathing is precious. So I'm glad you mentioned that. It's so precious. And it's the one thing that we can do that we don't have to, like, go and find someone to help us do it. Like everything that you're naming off doesn't include anybody else. That's what I love about those tips. It's just you.
I am
So
very
I love it.
practical. I'm all about being practical,
Ooh, honey.
cost, savings or what have you in the realm of don't make it an excuse. Don't
Mm.
make that the excuse of why you cannot take care of yourself.
Woo. Say that stuff. Say that stuff, Gina.
Don't make
Thank
that
you
the
for that.
excuse because we can. It's
Thank you
just
for
how
that.
we prioritize it.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, as a wellness and self-care coach, what do you think that has been the biggest thing that you've seen, the biggest need that you've witnessed with some of your clients, maybe? Not with sharing no names, but like what have you witnessed that you've seen the biggest need for
Mhm.
people for to take care of their wellness and self-care?
Mhm.
Like if you had to name one.
Giving themselves permission.
Mm,
There's
that's
a
a good one.
recurring theme around it, because my clients that I work with are busy, ambitious, high achieving women, right?
Mm,
So, what does that mean? That means that you're always doing for someone else, for the boss, for your company, for the family, for your spouse, for your elderly parents. You're always doing for someone else. And so, giving yourself permission to take time out, carve it out. It can be planned. You can make an announcement. Let
mhm.
everybody know that this little hour or 2 hours or 3 hours are mine.
They're
So
mine. I
bother
love.
me when it's over. But so you have to like take the reins. So that's a reoccurring theme, though.
Mm, wow. It's very interesting you dropped that one because I can so relate. I can so relate. Um, I love how you named off, the kind of people you work with because I think a lot of times we can get so busy, like you said, doing all those things that we forget to fill our own cup up.
Yeah.
And permission is the moment of taking the time to fill your own cup up. I know I'm one of those women. I'm very busy. I can be doing a lot of things, but honey, I would tell you in the last couple of years, I have really been introduced to self care like none other, and I have been taking it.
Yes.
I have been taking it, but before Gina, I was like I was telling my friend just so recently, I had all of these gift cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
These gift cards that people had gifted me, and even my husband, he's been telling me, which I got to follow through on. Bought me a facial, didn't go and spend those gift cards, didn't
Right.
do the facial. Now that now that's twofold. There's different things, but I could tell you part of it is because being so busy, like,
Right.
and not stopping and taking the time to enjoy what you've been blessed with. And
Yes.
so I that's been a hard lesson for me actually personally, and I really appreciate you bringing it up because it is that area that's reoccurring for a lot of us, for a
Yeah.
lot of us women, and I think men can relate to it too. I
Oh,
think men
yeah,
can relate to it too.
absolutely. They may get the gift cards. Well, they do get gift cards, but and it goes in a drawer. I don't know if it's a special drawer that says a gift card drawer, and it's like 12 months later, and you
Woo!
open that drawer, and you're like, "Oh shoot, it just expired." Like,
It expired. And I didn't even know that they expired till someone told me. They were like, honey, that thing will expire. I don't care what it says on the back of it. And every time you wait, you actually are losing money. So some cards, you're actually losing the money. Like if it was $100 by the time you end up spending, it's like two.
oh,
I
that
don't know if
now
people
you're
know that, but that's what's going on with these little gift cards. It's not every gift card, but a lot of them. A
yeah,
lot of
it just depends. But the gift cards are see, I used to get gift cards too, and I was lazy with the gift cards. And it
mm.
was like, oh, I'll do it later. Matter of fact, I probably have some upstairs. Just trying I need to go find them. But it's like you get lazy and you're like, oh yeah, and then you forget, and then you forget where you saved it. And then it's like, oh, you did it, did it. So it's like just go do it within the first like 90 days, 30 days. Yeah.
That's good advice. Good advice. That is perfect advice.
Yes.
Yes. Girl, well, let's get personal. You cool with getting personal?
Ooh, let's
I
go.
love let's get
Mhm.
personal. Um, is there any area in your life where you've resisted or neglected your own wellness journey? Like, if so, can you share a little bit of that with us?
I sure can. So I told you I started young with the fitness, but there was an episode where I was just like, I'm good. Because I was small. I've always been
Mm,
small. So I was like, I don't need to work out. I was like, it was a time when I was playing tennis for a while. I really like to play tennis, but I was playing tennis and then I walked a lot and I just didn't care. But what triggered and let me know that things were not right was going up some stairs and you're winded. I'm like, what?
mm,
Like, I have never been winded going up any stairs, along a big flights of stairs. So that was a trigger, like, we need to do something. And then picking up heavy items that normally wouldn't be heavy, but since you haven't been really working out, and when I say this period of my life, it's some time ago. Um, this period of my life, I wasn't working out like at all, like not on the radar
mm,
at all. Like I'm good, like whatever. But I just like I said, I've always been small, so it was never for me. It never has been for me a weight issue of why I work out and why I do wellness is important to me. It's always about how it makes me feel.
mm.
Yes. But those
See?
were triggers. Those were triggers. It's like, I'm just going up these stairs and I'm winded. That is a problem. So let me get back on these rollerblades.
Now, with that said, what I mean, what did you learn from it? Like, what are you doing? What did you do differently from that experience? Like, you talk about like, hey, I couldn't lift up things and I couldn't carry things, and you're breathing. Like, I know those are certain things that you were aware of, but what did you learn from it about yourself personally?
Yes, what I learned is that um, I'm resilient and I am a bounce back kid. Um, and because I am an athlete, I know how to train.
Mm,
So I had to shift my mind right on back and say, what did I do when I was in school on the team? What did we do? We start and take those baby steps and get in condition. Get in condition.
mm-hmm,
And a lot of times people are not willing to do that. But you're gonna
mm-hmm,
have to start right on back to zero, humble, eat that humble pie, right? And then go ahead and I just started. I luckily I've been able to self um, kind of discipline, but I will say
mm-hmm.
I've hired trainers, fitness trainers in the past. I was like, look, I need to tone this up, and we got like 45 days because I got a wedding to go to. What do I need to do? And this is a true story. And they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." It wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't a whole lot, but I needed to be toned. I wasn't as toned as I like to be. So he's like, "You're gonna have to cut out all this sugar. Cut it all out. Eat this green stuff." And this is when I started changing my diet into
Mm.
healthy eatings on the kale and the spinach, green tea, uh, cut that sugar out. Woo! And I wasn't a big
That's
sugar
a
eater.
hard one.
But when you say no sugar for
Ooh.
30 days and eat greens, that will hurt you. If you
I
and
know
I have
what
to
hurt
work
me,
out,
honey, because I love me some sugar.
right?
Ooh, I love
5
me some
days.
sugar.
He had me going and meeting up with him 5 days for 3 consecutive weeks, and then the last couple weeks that we could taper off to like 2 or 3 days. And I was like, okay, this is what it means to get it going in a short amount of time.
Mm.
And again, if you're like competitive like I am, I was up for the challenge. I was like, all right, let's see if we can do it. And this again was some years ago, like 15, 20 years ago. Um, and I got it done. So I got it done and I look great in the dress for my cousin's wedding. So I was like,
Yay.
hey, 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 hey. What we
Yeah.
will do for vanity, right? Like to, to look good.
We're a lot. A lot. We'll do a lot. But you know what? I will say this. Um, it's okay to want to look good.
It is.
It's okay to want to look good. I think the problem and the challenge may come is when all of that stuff you're doing, that is your substance and your wholeness for you inside. There's a
Mhm.
difference from, wanting to look a certain way and wanting to look nice when you walk down that aisle or when you come in that wedding versus like the this is, it makes you. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like it
Mhm.
sums you up,
Yeah.
so that's when you start digging in some deeper layers that you might want
Yes.
to go and check, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
I'm a fan of looking good, girl. I'm like, but I hadn't always been. I'd always been. I remember I was telling, I think I told me and my husband were talking, and I even told my mom, like for our wedding, I didn't
Mhm.
really invest in myself. I, instead of getting a professional makeup artist, I tried to do myself, girl. And when I show you some of these pictures, when I show you some of these pictures, you're gonna be like, oh wow, boo boo. And
Aw.
then what we put on after our wedding, like how you take after the wedding, you take off your clothes and you put on just some regular clothes because you're just winding down. Girl, we
Mhm.
look like two little hillbillies. The stuff that
Well,
we
wait.
chose
Both
it
of you.
for ourselves.
Both of you did though,
So
right?
yeah, so I haven't always been,
So it's a match. So that's
yeah.
great.
I mean, we both look, because we're both from the country, so we look definitely country. And
Oh,
now when I look back at those pictures, I laugh and I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? What was going
wow.
on there? So that's a whole nother story. But I just, now I think about those things. I'm like, I want to look nice for myself, not for anybody else. So I think
That's a
that's
huge
one
shift
thing.
right there because, the magazines are always saying something or that, this or that, or what you should and what. So that's
Yeah.
why it's like you really have to identify with what works for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to learn yourself.
Yeah. Well, you talked about it earlier, mindset. Like if your mindset is in a place that's healthy, your wellness starts. It's all inward. That wellness stuff starts inward, and then you start doing all the outward stuff. But that mindset thing that you were talking about, because if you don't have a sharp mind where you are connected with yourself and you're comfortable and confident that I've chose some pretty good stuff for myself, and I'm going to go this way versus looking at the magazine and reshifting yourself because of what you see or
Yeah.
what somebody even tells you. Somebody
Mhm.
tells you, people do this. They'll say, hey, you look good in that. Or you'll be in the store and you're trying on a dress, and maybe the girl that's there, she goes, that looks really cute on you. You don't necessarily buy that dress because she says that. You buy it if you want it.
Right. And it
You
looks good in how you feel in it. It makes you look pretty,
Exactly.
sassy, you know.
Exactly. The
Yes.
encouragement is good. The encouragement is good, but at the end of the day, you have to choose for yourself. So
You have to
yeah,
choose
this
for
is,
yourself.
yeah,
And
good stuff, girl.
oh,
So you know what? Really quickly, I do want to segue and just because you got some people on here commenting, I want to see what they're talking about over here.
oh, okay.
I love to talk, to kind of check in with the people over there, y'all. Thank you so much, Facebook and YouTube, y'all. I just
Yay.
appreciate y'all being here tonight. But someone said, "Without your health, you're nothing."
Mhm.
Your dad, he's representing what your dad said. Everyone can do something to work on their wellness. Somebody says, "Hey, beautiful ladies." Someone says, "Do what you can do." Yes, they like that. Yes, it's so important to calm down that nervous system. Like Nike, just do it. Ooh, girl, you got me. Healthy tips. Choose something fun, deep breathing, someone like that. Someone says, hey, ladies, great insight. Yes, I just had a great shopping spree with my gift cards. Someone said, hey, Gina. Um, and then someone, oh, they say it's a small world, so this person knows you.
Oh, hey.
Then someone says it's okay to want to look good. You may
Yeah.
you may have started out, Chantel, but that message got cut off, whoever that is. But I thank y'all for those comments. I always love when the audience engage because it really is a good thing when we can make a connection when we're having these conversations, because there's everybody out there is going through their own different life journey and their wellness and their self-care, and these are good times when we can actually kind of relate to each other, and also even offer some tips that kind of help. So I definitely appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for those that feedback and those comments. Now, Jeanna, when you think about it, have you, after talking about what you just shared, with your journey and what you kind of learned for yourself,
Mhm.
have you created like a barometer that helps you to stay aware? Like, is there a barometer for you? Like, is there an indicator of like, hmm, yeah, I might not need to do that, or no, this, I'm getting off here. Like, what alerts you to check in with yourself?
Mhm. Yeah, one of the things that keeps me kinda in alignment is, the what I mentioned earlier is, like, just getting, like, winded or breathing or something has changed and it's heavier and lifting, like, if I grab a case of water or something, I'm like, "Oh, that feels heavy." I'm like,
Mm,
"Mm, I need to do some more push-ups or get my weights going." Um, or, your clothes, right? Your clothes are, like, looking a little too snuggle-wug or it's in the wind. I can go either way, like, because I tend to, like, be driven and I work at a fast pace
yeah.
sometimes. I'm not a stressful eater, I won't eat, like, I'll eat less. So, I'm like the reverse of some other people, so I just have to keep an eye on what's going on, and working
Mm,
from home a lot, there's no one to talk to or monitor, no one's here, so it's just like, um, you have to just keep I have to just keep an eye on what's happening and what
mm.
and what and what I just have to be aware or mindful of it.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, mind
That's good. That's huge right now. I You mentioned something, you said when it's too heavy. I think that that word in it just it could describe so much. There's so much, like you're referring to heavy, like lifting and being able, and like I can't breathe and this is too much for me, like that being a barometer. But I was thinking about, as you were saying, I'm like, for me personally, like that word heavy just rings to me, because it's like sometimes I know my work for me and my barometer is constantly just being aware of my reactions. So
mm,
sometimes I have a heavy heart, you
mm,
know, just getting overloaded with so many things that are just get down in there. And so someone who's completely innocent, they haven't done anything, like maybe my kid come in and say something and I just snap and respond, or not respond, but react,
reacting.
because there's already some heavy stuff there.
Right, right,
And
right.
so they have nothing to do with it, but because the heaviness is there. And so I know a lot of my self-care journey and wellness for myself is always cleaning out the inside of me,
Mhm.
like really,
So
being
true.
aware.
And that triggered another thought too of, awareness barometers is sleep.
Good one.
It's a really, really important, um it's important,
Yeah,
period.
yeah, yeah.
During the pandemic, it has allowed me to really check in with that, like,
Mm,
enough rest, and my body is one of those that needs a lot of sleep.
yeah.
So, like, 5 and 6 hours doesn't do it. So, definitely you have a short temper with 5
Mm,
and 6 hours. You can't go day after day after day after day with just that little amount of sleep. Some people, that's like a lot, that's plenty, and they can just keep on going, but I'm not that person. So, that's a check-in. And my mother, she will say, "Have you been getting your rest? Do you get your rest? Are you getting your rest? Do you get some sleep?"
girl, you done
But
started
it
something
used
now.
I was working with this one person recently, and they were like, "Oh my god, I got like 10 hours of sleep." And you just walk different, you sound different, your body
Ooh,
is more relaxed. It's a whole different energy when you
mm.
get rest, and it is a beautiful thing. So, I would definitely put that high on the list.
Girl, you like just then woke up. You didn't woke up. You didn't stir something up inside of me, because that is definitely a challenge. But you know what? You're so right, Gina, because I notice when I do get sleep, my skin looks different.
Mhm.
I'm drinking that water and getting that sleep. And I do, it is, you are a little bit more calmer. You are, there's a peace that
Mhm.
happens when you're
Yeah.
getting sleep. There's a peace that happens. Thank you for that golden nugget. Did y'all hear that? Because I know we some people up on here. I know a few people that are on here because I can see their names. And I would tell you, I know y'all need to get some sleep just like me. So Gina, Coach Gina, thank you for the assignment.
I have
Thank
to
you
say this, I wanna add to that because sometimes we can get in our heads about what time it is that your body is telling you to shut it down, and it
mm,
may seem like really early, like in other people's time frame of a day. Go
mm-hmm,
on and go to bed. Just go on.
mm. I love it, girl. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to we're rounding up our time a little bit here. I do want to just segue a little bit. You've been a creative. I wanted to ask you if you were given some money to do some research and like to create like this wellness kit. What are some valuables you would put in that kit?
Some valuables in my kit.
Yes.
Well, I would definitely put in the nuggets of some how-tos on best doing a mobile. I would like a mobile app or
Mm,
something to keep me on track. That would be one of the tools if I had like research and a whole bunch of money to keep me on track. I would also want something on there, and we have these things I think now, but I'm not really big on technology to keep me with that. I just know what I need to do.
yeah.
But the food intake is really important. So something
Mm,
to just keep on track with that. And girl, when I was writing, I was listening, I was thinking, how can we best communicate with doctors?
ooh, that's a good one.
How to communicate with doctors? Because no one tells us how to do this. And as we get older, things start to happen either with our parents or a family member or da 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 da. And you need a way, and it's health related,
Mm,
wellness related.
yeah.
And so in our toolkit, I would say, okay, how do we talk to them? the medical, the medical. There's so much in that whole space that we are unaware of, and how to reduce the stress.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, those are good. Keeping us on track and talking to those doctors. That's no one teaches how to talk to the doctors. No one teaches you how to, I mean, you can be an advocate for yourself, but just really understanding, like having the ability to really engage and connect with that doctor so that you guys are on the same page about your health. I know my mom was talking like she just felt like her doctor just doesn't really listen or give her. She says, I know something's going on in my body, I know I feel these things, and he's telling me to do this. So like learning that whole process of some kind of template would be very
There's
good.
a disconnect with the medical, and when we tell them things, they don't listen, they're not hearing,
Mhm.
they're on to the next patient already. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
have any preventive care, something that is in alignment with what we can do next or what we can
Mm,
consider or think, things are going to shift. My dad used to say our body changes every 7 years.
mm.
Every 7 years. He
Is
was
your
a
dad a doctor? Because he's got
he's
some
a
good
retired
advice.
firefighter, so he's around a lot of medical people.
Okay, okay.
And so he picked up yeah, that's a whole yeah. So he was in that space, a firefighter. So but he's like every 7 years. So he told me this back in my 30s. And I was like, you just put it in your parent arsenal kit, like, okay, maybe they know what they're talking about, maybe not.
Mhm, mhm.
But he did. Because I was paying attention and I was like, I was never allergic to crab ever. And then one day, body can't have crab.
Mm,
Definitively
wow,
cannot have
wow.
anymore. Body just changes. So our body does change. So if you're not aware that this is going to happen coming forward, moving forward, like I said, a crap. So something you may have been able to do before is now no longer. So it's just the way it is, and it's okay because it's a part of like evolution, like what we our bodies are designed to do. But being
Yeah.
aware to shift and adjust to that and be okay with that.
Yeah, being okay with that. Yeah, change is evident. There ain't nothing you can do. Bodies change. We're growing. We're getting older, and like you said, you would have to readjust. I love what you said earlier, that the resilience. And sometimes being resilient doesn't necessarily mean that your body is not going to change. It
Right.
just means that you have the tools to experience the change, to go through it.
Yeah.
So, I love that you mentioned that earlier. So thank you, girl. This has been a great conversation, honey.
Yeah.
I want to just bring us on home. I would love, 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 love for you to tell people where they can find you, because I think that you have just your wisdom on wellness is very, very helpful. And I think a lot of people could benefit from it. So I would love for you to leave your handles of where people could find you if they want to reach out to you and talk a little bit more. Tell people where they can hit you up.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me. This has been a joy and so fun. So I love
It
to have
has.
some fun, like old girlfriends having like tea or coffee or something like
I know that's. I feel that.
that. You can reach me at Coach Jeanna, CoachJeanna, and I am on Instagram, on Facebook, or you can just go to my website, coachjeanna.com. And at coachjeanna.com, there is a area where you can fill out a form just really quick, and it'll ping me. We can schedule a time to have a chat. I'd love to know, what your wellness needs are, challenges are, and have that conversation. And maybe there's something I can help you with. Who knows?
Cool. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much for being on here. And thank you for following through and seeing my profile on LinkedIn and saying, let me hit this child up. Let me reach out to her.
Yes.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It has
You're
been
welcome.
wonderful having you on. You are a beautiful soul. You really, really are. And that
Oh,
smile is priceless, honey.
thank you.
That was priceless. Well, thank you, Gina. Coach Gina, I'm so grateful. All you people out there, Facebook and YouTube, I really appreciate you taking your time out tonight to hang out with us. We are always grateful. And as I always say, make it a great day because you can. Peace, y'all.